The snooze button is not innocent. It's reprogramming your brain to wake up in chaos and is slowly killing your energy, mood, and momentum. You think you're just buying yourself 10 more minutes of rest, but what you're really buying is another day of foggy thinking, low motivation, and starting from behind. Snoozing is self sabotage disguised as self care, and it's quietly wrecking your brain. Let's talk about mornings. Not the ones you dream about where you glide out of bed with clarity and peace. I'm talking about the real ones. Your alarm blares, your heart jumps like you've just heard a fire alarm. You reach for your phone without opening both eyes. You slap snooze like it personally offended you. And then you lie there. You don't fall into deep sleep again, but you're not fully awake either. Your thoughts are already racing. I should get up, just 5 more minutes. Maybe today will be different. But it's not because 5 turns into 10, 10 turns into 20, and by the time you finally get out of bed, you're already in catch up mode. You skipped breakfast, again, you barked at your partner or your kids for moving too slowly. You missed your workout. You forgot to pack lunch. You forgot the email you were supposed to send. You're already sweating and the day hasn't even started. Now you're sitting at your desk, shoulders tense, mind foggy, barely able to think. You've had like 2 coffees before 10 a.m., but you're still tired. You check your to do list and feel overwhelmed. You scroll Instagram just to escape the pressure, but now you feel even worse. You wonder, why does everything feel so hard today? Here's the truth. You didn't start your day late. You started your day disconnected. You started your day disconnected from your body, from your goals, from your power. And you're not the only one. Studies show over 50% of people snooze their alarm, and nearly half of those people do it more than 80% of mornings. And the more they snooze, the more they report low energy, mood swings, trouble concentrating, and this low grade sense of frustration all day long. Why? Because snoozers also tend to have more erratic sleep rhythms. And even if they're clocking 7 or 8 hours, their brains aren't getting quality rest. They're getting fragmented, choppy, confusing signals. Every time you hit snooze, your brain is like, wait, are we waking up or going back to sleep? What's happening right now? And those mixed messages, they mess with your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls your energy, hormone regulation, metabolism, and brain function. It's like flicking a light switch on and off over and over again, then wondering why the bulb is like fizzing out. You don't feel tired because you're broken. You feel tired because your brain just never got the full message. The message that it's time to rise. And if you're someone who's chasing better health, if you want to feel more focused, confident, and calm during your day, if you've got big goals and big dreams, this one tiny habit, the one that just feels so innocent, might be the very thing that's sabotaging your momentum before your feet even hit the floor. And it's time to stop letting that happen. Here's the truth that nobody talks about. The final stretch of your sleep cycle, especially the last hour, it's kind of like your brain's personal cleanup crew. That's when you get the richest, longest bursts of REM sleep. And REM is everything. During REM, your brain isn't just dreaming, it's taking out the trash. It's flushing toxins through the glymphatic system. It's stabilizing your emotional memory. It's running updates on the neurochemicals that keep your mood steady, your focus sharp, and your motivation alive. So, neurotransmitters like serotonin, your emotional regulator, dopamine, your drive and reward system, and norepinephrine, your alertness and decision making fuel, they all get balanced during REM. And when you cut it short, you wake up depleted. But here's the kicker, you don't just lose that deep restorative REM, you replace it with junk sleep. Sleep that's light, fragmented dozing that feels like you're resting, but is doing nothing for your nervous system. It's almost just like eating a handful of styrofoam and then wondering why you're still hungry. There's like no fuel in it, there's no healing, no renewal. It's just the illusion of comfort. And when you hit snooze repeatedly, it's not just bad sleep, it's a neurochemical disruption loop. Here's how it plays out. Your alarm clock goes off. Boom, cortisol spikes to get you up. That's normal. It's part of your wake up system. But then you hit snooze, and then cortisol plummets as you slip back into a half state sleep. Then the alarm clock hits again. Spike, snooze, drop. Again, spike, drop. Spike, drop. This constant start stop jerks your brain around like a puppet, and over time, it destroys your cortisol rhythm. It burns out your adrenal glands and leaves you wired, tired, and emotionally unstable. You wake up in survival mode even if your calendar says Nothing stressful. Your body says, sound the alarms, we're not safe. Your brain literally doesn't know how to begin the day in calm anymore because it's been conditioned to brace for disruption. And that's what most people don't get. If you're sleeping 7, 8, even 9 hours, but still feeling exhausted, it's not about how long you're sleeping, it's about the rhythm and quality of that sleep. You can't just log hours like a timesheet. Your brain needs uninterrupted cycles, especially that final REM window when it does its most important healing. And snoozing is the fastest way to rip that away from yourself every single morning. So if you're wondering why you're feeling tired all day long, why you can't focus, why you're snapping at people you love, why your motivation's flatlining, it's not because you're doing life wrong, it's because your sleep rhythm is probably broken and the snooze button is like holding that hammer. Let me make one thing very clear. You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you are definitely not bad at mornings. What you are is human, trying to function in a world that constantly demands more from you, while never actually teaching you how to work with your brain instead of against it. See, your current morning routine isn't a reflection of your discipline, it's a reflection of your systems. And if those systems go against your biology, you'll always feel like you're falling short, even when you're giving it everything you've got. But when you stop blaming your willpower and start rewiring your nervous system to support you, that's when everything changes. Let me walk you through 4 powerful brain-backed hacks that I teach my clients to help them go from snooze survival mode to wake up with power mode. Hack number 1, move your alarm clock across the room. It sounds too simple to work, but it really does. When you physically get up to turn off your alarm, you instantly activate the reticular activating system. This is the part of your brainstem responsible for switching from sleep to wakefulness. You increase the blood pressure, you improve oxygen to the brain, and your posture alone signals alertness to your nervous system. The longer you stay horizontal, the more your brain stays stuck in the sleepy theta brainwave zone. But the second you stand, your physiology starts waking up and the momentum builds from movement. And what's even better, you interrupt the autopilot loop of reaching for your phone, scrolling, and snoozing without thought. By adding friction to the snooze button, you force your body to make a conscious decision. And that's the first win of the day. It's one simple move, but it's one big shift in the brainwave state. Hack number 2 is to create a dopamine cue. Your brain is hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So if waking up feels like a dread, your brain will resist it every single time. But when you attach a dopamine reward to your morning, you flip the script. Maybe it's the smell of your cinnamon in your tea, a song that instantly shifts your vibe, a stretch by the window with sunlight in your face. Whatever it is, make it consistent, make it sensory, and make it yours. This creates a positive emotional anchor. Over time, your brain starts to anticipate the reward before it even happens. That's how habits get built. It's not through force, but through desire. You're not just waking up for work, you're waking up for you. Hack number 3 is to use Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. This one is deceptively powerful. When your alarm clock goes off and your brain starts offering excuses, so things like, I'll get up in a minute, 5 more minutes won't hurt, I'm too tired today, you interrupt the spiral and count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Why does this work? Because it disrupts the default hesitation loop your brain relies on to keep you in your comfort zone. It moves you out of limbic reactivity, so the fear center, and into the prefrontal action center, which is the decision-making center. You're no longer thinking about whether you feel like getting up, you're acting before your brain has a chance to argue. So this builds self-trust in the micro moments, and when repeated, it rewires your identity into someone who moves when it matters. Not because they feel ready, but because they're leading their life on purpose. Hack number 4 is to set your alarm for when you actually need to wake up. So stop using your alarm as a negotiation tool. Every time you set it early, just in case, then snooze it 5 times, you're teaching your brain that alarms are optional, that your boundaries with yourself are flexible, that your word doesn't matter. Flip that. Set your alarm for the exact time you truly need to get up, no buffer, and then honor it like a contract. You want your brain to associate the sound of the alarm with action, not negotiation. This trains your subconscious that when the alarm goes off, it's time to lead. No loopholes, no mental gymnastics, and over time, this builds a deep neurological trust in your own follow-through. And when your brain trusts you, it stops resisting you. So, no, the goal isn't to become a robot who hops out of bed at 5 a.m. with military precision. The goal is to become someone whose nervous system feels safe to rise, someone who starts the day in alignment with who they want to become and not in survival mode, reacting to who they've been. Because when you win the first 10 minutes of the day, you set the tone for how you move, how you think, how you lead all day long. This is how your identity shifts. You stop abandoning yourself in those vulnerable first moments of the morning and you start becoming the version of you who leads with purpose. Not just when life is easy, but when your alarm clock goes off and you choose yourself anyways. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need more hours of sleep. You need to stop negotiating with your potential. Because every time you hit snooze, you're telling your brain 5 more minutes of hiding before I become who I'm meant to be. But your future, it's not waiting, it's watching. And the version of you that leads with clarity, energy, and unshakable self-trust, they're not built in the big moments, they're built right here in the tiny decision to rise instead of retreat. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up, get up and show your nervous system what it feels like to trust you again. Want to rewire your brain for better mornings and unstoppable momentum? Then book a free call with me. Let's train your nervous system to lead.